Olde Scot the Celtic podcast. Kimraha Hula Dunya, how's everyone? On today's show in Feuchamaich and Gaelic, that's Let's Try a Little Gaelic. We're in that Traveling Gaelic series, and it's all about lodging in Gaelic. In our Celtic history segment, it's the Cailleach and the creation of Scotland. In Everyday Celtic Ways, we're going to do some Scotland's Paranormal with the Lady Catherine of Dalhousie. Now we'll hear music from Maeve McKinnon, Corrina Hewitt, and Celtic Women from their Voice of an Angel album. As always, it's a wee bit of Irish trivia to test your knowledge to start us off. Which Irish county is the least populated of all the Irish counties? And this includes Northern Ireland. All right, check out the Olde Scot Facebook group where you can be a part of the Celtic culture. And keep an eye out for all the different videos our YouTube channel and Facebook group has to offer. Feuchamaich, let's kick this thing off.
Sannon tayagari, look at me, Savamidia, Sannon tayagari, look at me, Sahokami, Nan tayagari, look at me, Savamidia, what the Kinagadi, coffee can desk of Rockand, what the Kinagadi, coffee can test a very, what the Kinagadi, coffee can desk of Rockand, what the Kinagadi, coffee can test a very, oh, get a near Naka, hey, get a near Naka, get a near Naka, and a rocket to Nalia, oh, get a near Naka, hey, get a near Naka, get a near Naka, and a rocket. Kinagadi coffee can this coffee what the Kinagadi coffee can this a very what the Kinagadi coffee can this coffee what the Kinagadi coffee can this a very I get solution I chickens not chicken I get solution I said foxes can you hear I get solution I chickens not chicken I get solution I said foxes can you hear what the Kinagadi coffee can this coffee what the Kinagadi coffee can this a very what the Kinagadi coffee can this coffee what the Kinagadi coffee can taste a very oh get a banashaka he get a banashaka khana ke sade hdf oh get a banashaka he get a banashaka khana ke sade hdf what the Kinagadi coffee can taste what the Kinagadi coffee can taste a very what the Kinagadi coffee can taste what the Kinagadi coffee can taste a very baban tata moran tide can is long iken man tata moran sa
That was Olde Scot by Maeve McKinnon. And now it's time for Feuchamaich and Gaelic. Let's try a little Gaelic. Now, I'm not an authority on the Gaelic language, I just love learning it. I struggle like most, and so what I teach comes right from well-respected Gaelic teachers. So, I hope you find it interesting, informative, and fun. And I always display on the screen what I'm discussing so you can follow along. Remember that this is just to give you some handy phrases and words to use while you're in Gaelic-speaking parts of the world, but those parts of the world are bilingual, so you won't get stuck. Today we're going to be talking about lodging in Gaelic. Now, we're going to start off with the first one, which is, do you have any rooms available? Avail Shamlakin Akit. How much is a room for one person? Jeafris Ersin Shomer Nahun. Does the room come with? Okay. Avail and Shomer Achian Lay. And then depends on what you want it to come with. Which bed sheets? Julikin Lepa, a bathroom. Shamar Ianelech, or Tyvek, a telephone. It's phone. A TV. Tivshrin. May I see the room first? Fuck me an Shamar an Toshik. Do you have anything quieter? Avail Shamar Sambi Akav Nas Kunya. Do you have anything bigger? Avail Shamar Sambi Akav Nas Moa. Do you have anything cleaner? Avail Shamar Sambi Akav Nas Glinia. Do you have anything cheaper? Avail Shamar Sambi Akav Nas Sora. Alright. Okay, I'll take it. Kershmaha. Gavi me eh. Furlek me. Ya. Oicha. I will stay for 2 nights. Is breakfast or supper included? Avail brekish, super, air, a gavel, a shuck. What time is breakfast or supper? Kunya ambi, brekish, super. Please clean my room. Fecken glan u mo helmer. Can you wake me at 7? And Erlen quit mo husig ak shuck. I want to check it out. Hami Erson Skrugig a Janov. Why is the police here? Karshan Laha na police an show. Alright, that's it for Feuchamaich Beck and Gaelic.
Cailleach my Ilamar, bonny boy Gilamar. You will be my gallant star, oh haste to me, my Ilamar.
Children keen in vain for thee,
To break my chains for liberty. Cailleach my Ilamar, bonny boy Gilamar.
you will be my gallant star, oh haste to me, my
Ilamar. Mountains high and valleys low,
The cuckoo sings of Saxon foe.
'tis you must strike the mortal blow. My Ilamar, Mavukul
gallant star, oh haste to me, my yellow mar.
Alright, that was Mohila Mare, My Gallant Star by Celtic Women. And today on Celtic History, we're going to do the Cailleach and the story of Scotland's creation. Now, I've learned how Scotland came to be formed in the telling of a 3,000-year-old myth of the Cailleach, or the Old Hag, who is believed to have created Scotland. One of the great Celtic ancestors, the Cailleach, was the goddess of the cold and the wind, sometimes known as the Veiled One or the Queen of Winter. The Cailleach determined the winter's length and harshness. She was a divine goddess, but before that, she was a creator deity. The Cailleach appears primarily as a veiled old woman, sometimes with only one eye. Her skin is deathly pale or blue, while her teeth are red, and her clothes are adorned with skulls and rotting flesh. Ugh. Now, she is able to leap across mountains and ride the fiercest storms. The Veiled One was a creator deity that shaped much of the known landscape. Whether she did so intentionally remains unclear. Her tools of creation and destruction included her hammer, which she was able to control storms and thunder with. It's a nod to Thor, as we see. Now, she also controlled the earth's well that would occasionally overflow and flood the land. The Cailleach was neither fully good nor fully evil. A battle enraged inside her between the two, and at times when evil would have the upper hand, she would bring destruction and death upon the land. And then when good turned the tables, she would bring peace and prosperity. She was a natural and wild destructive force, but despite this, she was also cared deeply for the animals, both wild and domestic, during the winter, cold, dark months. She had a kinship with the wolves. She would hear their cries when embodied with winter's hunger. Now, the Cailleach was both ageless and immortal. As winter gave way to spring, she would be returned to her youth. She spent half the year as a young woman and the other half as an old crone. She was only known as the Cailleach, though, during the winter. You see, the Cailleach ruled winter, but Bridget ruled summer. There was an intense relationship between the two goddesses, a nod to the yin and yang. Now, in Samhain, October 31st, the Celtic year ends and the winter begins, marking the return of the Cailleach. The Cailleach transforms into Bridget during Beltane, a fertility festival held on May 1st, marking the time of rebirth. Now, the tale of how Scotland emerged from a wasteland where there was once nothing is vague, but long ago when the Cailleach, described as the mother goddess and creator of this land, came into being, she made the first ancient rock of her beloved Caledonia, which was to be known as Iona. Now, she created each aspect of Scotland, the islands, when she gathered peats and carried them on a creel on her back from the other world. The load, though, was too heavy for her, and she fell. The clods of peat scattered, creating the islands, the inner and outer Hebrides. And then when her body came crashing down, she created the mountains and the valleys. When she arose, she looked upon the most beautiful sight, knowing she could not improve on what she had accidentally done. She returned to the other world where she would oversee the land she had created. But even though the land was beautiful, it was cold and lifeless. The Hag of Winter was not ready to lose her grip on the land, but holding off the birth of spring was much too much for her. One night, in a deep sleep after her alter ego Bridget, the goddess of spring, came into existence through a dreamlike vision, Bridget threatened to uproot the Cailleach's cold supremacy with her youthful beauty. For Bridget, flowers and grass grow everywhere she walks. The Cailleach became inflamed by this interloper and therefore dressed her in rags, enslaved and imprisoned her. but her beauty never faded. Angus Og, the prince of the eternal youthful land of Tir na Nog, sees what is happening in a dream and sets off towards her to save the beautiful Bridget and defeat the evil Cailleach. Now the Cailleach washed her plaid and dried it out, threw it over the mountain tops, coating the land in ice and darkness. She went to the earth's well to set forth flood to cover the land in ice and snow. When she sees a beautiful face, a young face, looking back at her, perhaps a younger version of herself. Now the prince soon arrives, and a battle ensues. He tells her, "Begone, begone, your time has come," portraying the eternal struggle between life and death, not knowing the battle is within the woman before him, though. Now the Cailleach had no intention of growing old gracefully, but is finally defeated and driven away to her isle in the west. She eventually comes to realize what she has become when she speaks to the tide about how she is no longer so mighty. Unbeknownst to herself, it is the good within her that has taken over. It is her alter ego, Bridget. Eventually she comes to understand the two sides of herself, and even though at times it is a battle, she understands that winter and spring are dependent on each other. Now this story ends when Bridget takes the outstretched hand of Angus and walks into Scotland, creating a living earth where animals, flowers, and plants are created in their footsteps. And those are the lochs and the great glens. And that's it. Thank you for listening to the History Break.
Is fatan tlielen mile von chicken ju I shall sleep in a man not hado en yakelum parsing walking ye on an lim get be hoart savans through oh hamanam fiat gwan idalical and suarachas le moroshin na biog bron o brual yn norskanish hat o hurig von y fabe is von royale han y braden har sale y chian of cobararn o gachuvner am fian Spania het moroshin nam bieg skippa akam smahre wein en kraft Janin ceremonier en alter mara hier garam vid in pok noga dan halak a hukka heike go o Janin sukre eid koden moroshin Byrne val, byrne braren ban, har sala tjena kobararn. Bygga klaunes slia, vid fatterin. Es manchok et krig. Vad jag kan måste ta den gick. Ett fall av morgonskin.
All right, that was Rosendew by Maeve McKinnon. Now it's time for Everyday Celtic Ways. Today we're doing Paranormal Scotland. Now, if you've ever witnessed or visited Scotland, you know that if ghosts exist, this is where you'll find them. The Scots certainly agree. Many misty Highland moors, ancient battlefields, and old spooky castles have spectral stories and creepy legends that are as scary as they are mysterious. Let's explore some of our favorites. Today's is Lady Catherine of Dalhousie. Now, when you visit Scotland, you may not even need to leave your hotel to witness ghosts. In fact, if you're staying in the Dalhousie Castle Hotel in Aqueous Spa, you might have an old-timely ghost hanging out in your room. The ghost rumored to haunt the place is Lady Catherine, a 16-year-old noblewoman who was banished in a castle tower in 1695 after being caught in, let's say, an uncompromising position with a stable hand. The poor, lovelorn Catherine pined for her lost love and was tortured by her captors, who teased her with the details of her lover's gruesome death. She died alone, tormented, and insane in her tower. However, it is said that her spirit has never left the castle, even when it was converted to a hotel in 1972. Lady Catherine's ghost leads a fairly active afterlife, which has led to multiple sightings over the years. The hotel is a popular wedding site, and the specter has been known to attend the festivities. She walks the castle's turrets and corridors and even appears in people's rooms. Sometimes she waves at the guests from a window. Other times you might find her sitting on your bed. According to eyewitnesses, her gray dress, sharp features, and small feet could make you believe that she's perfectly alive. That is, until she walks right through a locked door. Now, there's an interesting anecdote. In 2007, an American writer, Kate Bollock, visited the castle to learn about Lady Catherine, who at this point had picked up the popular ghost moniker, the Grey Lady. Although she was unsuccessful, she discovered that Catherine does not like the sound of bagpipes. Whenever the castle steward attempts to play his instrument, he's unable to play properly for one reason or another. On one occasion while she was there, After just retrieving his bagpipes from the repair shop, where they played perfectly fine, upon expanding his bag to begin, the bag burst. Mrs. Bollock thought, "That's peculiar." That was the ghost. All right, that's it for Everyday Celtic Ways.
Oh, it's whispered in the kitchen, it's whispered in the hall. The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, that the king's daughter gaes wi a bairnie by her brother, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. He has ta'en his sister doon to their father's dear park. The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, wi his yew tree bow and arrow held fast against his back, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. And when that ye hear me gie a loud cry, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, loose fae your bow and arrow, and there let me lie, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. And when that he heard her gie a loud cry, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, a silver arrow frae his bow he suddenly let fly. They darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. He has dug to her a grave that was lang, wide and deep. The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, and he's buried his ain sister with their bairnie at her feet. They darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. And when at last he came to his father's hall, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, there was music and minstrels and dancing and all, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. Willie, my son Willie, what gies ye sick pain? The broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, I hae lost that sheath and knife I may never find again, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere. My father made ships that sail upon the sea, the broom blooms bonny, the broom blooms fair, but sic a sheath and knife they can never bring to me, and they darna gae doon to the broom ony mere.
All right, that was Sheaf and Knife by Karina Hewitt. Not top level Harrison. That's it for today's podcast. But before I let you go, the trivia question answer. Which Irish county is the least populated of all the Irish counties? Well, that's County Leitrim. And it's only got 32,044 people as of the census in 2016. All right. One time it had as many as 250,000, but for some reason they all left. All right, remember to check out my YouTube channel. It's got Celtic music, podcasts, Gaelic language, Gaelic song, Celtic history videos, and lots more. And my Facebook group where you can give me your insights and inputs on all things Celtic. Marcia Leaven Drozda, bye for now. But I'm going to let you go with a song, A Fond Kiss by Karina Hewitt.
A fond kiss, and then we sever. A farewell, and then forever. Deep in heart run tears, I'll pledge thee. Warring sighs and groans, I'll wage thee. Who shall say that fortune grieves him, while the star of hope she leaves him? Me nae cheerful twinkle lights me, dark despair around me nights me. Who shall blame my partial fancy? Nathan could resist my Nancy, for to see her was to love her, love but her, and love forever. Had we never loved so kindly? Had we never loved so blindly? Never met or never parted? We had ne'er been broken hearted. Fare thee well, thy first and fairest. Fare thee well, thy best and dearest. Thine be ilka joy and treasure, peace, enjoyment, love, and pleasure. A fond kiss, and then we sever. A